What is going on, guys? We have the 28th Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle. Today we're up against Spencer, and if you guys take a very close look at my team, I have, yes, an RU team. I'm bringing RU back because I love RU so much. On the other hand, Spencer has quite a, strong and unique OU team. I realize that he has 3 water types, which is pretty interesting, and not to mention he has that Fortress. I'm really fearing that he's going to lead off with the Fortress because, knowing Fortress, it can learn all bunch of moves, all bunch of stupid, yet really good moves. So, he's actually going to lead off with the Sharpedo. I led off with the Flareon because I really thought he was going to lead off with the, the Florges. But it doesn't matter because I have a really nice Sharpedo counter. Yes, it is my Gastrodon. I go for my obvious switch, and he actually goes for a waterfall, which gives me that Storm Drain ability, which is fantastic. Now my Scald is going to do a little bit more. He is going to use Protect. Not too surprising to see Protect on Sharpedo, but not really sure, if that's really necessary, since he does outspeed me by 10 folds. But he does want to scout what I'm going to do, so turns out he's actually going to stay in. He's not afraid of getting burned, and he can't do too much, unfortunately. If he was a Mega with Strong Jaw, he actually might be able enough to do a 2-hit KO, but unfortunately for him, he doesn't do a 2-hit KO, so I'm gonna grab some more leftovers, and from this range I can pretty much kill it. I don't even need a burn. It's a 2-hit KO for me since I did get that Storm Drain boost, but he goes for his Zen Headbutt, and he's gonna flinch for flinches. So my opponent's playing all kinds of luck in this battle, and it actually turns out in his favor. It actually turns out. Knowing me, Repel Games, I have the poorest luck. I hit myself in confusion every fucking time, and, I get para hacks all day, and I get freeze hacks all day, so I'm gonna have to switch out. I'm gonna go into my Hitmontop now. The Zen Headbutt is so obvious, but before I do that, not so obvious, the Crunch is so obvious. Because Zen Headbutt's not enough to kill the Gastrodon, so his best attack is actually Crunch. Crunch actually does have a good chance to kill my Gastrodon, but it's not going to do anything to Hitmontop, so now I'm going to stay in, and I'm just going to go for the Mach Punch. It's so obvious, but actually, my opponent decides to, stay in, and he probably was going to use the Zen Headbutt, but yeah, he could have just went for a Protect, just kind of scout what I was going to do, but good thing he didn't. So, here comes the Alakazam now. The Psychic is so obvious, so I'm going to do another obvious switch. I'm going to go into Murkrow. I love Murkrow. Murkrow is such an amazing Pokemon, but it has the poorest luck. It has, the poorest luck. I'm not really sure why. He's going to Mega Evolve, so we do know it is a Mega Alakazam. It's actually going to trace my Prankster, but I'm pretty sure this Mega Alakazam only has pure fighting moves. He does go for the Psychic, but no, I am Dark type, so he's going to switch out. So he does not have Dazzling Gleam, which is fantastic. I'm going to go for the Calm Mind now to get that special attack and defense boost. Technically, I could stay and just go for a +2 Calm Mind, and I can take 1 Ice Beam, and then what I can do is actually start roosting. Roost cancels out my flying type, so then the Ice Beam doesn't hurt too much. But then I'm thinking, you know what, why bother? I'm just going to go into Registeel. Registeel will eat up an Ice Beam so damn well, and I can set up my early game locks. That's perfect. Or I can even go for a Thunder Wave. My opponent has no ground type, so I'm free to go for a Thunder Wave. He does go for the Ice Beam, and guess what happens? Yep, I get fucking freeze hacks. So, unfortunately, this Greninja has sold my plans to go for the early game Stealth Rocks. He's actually staying in and go for a Dark Pulse, but, I am Registeel, it's not going to do anything. But, that's great. If he wants to stay in another turn to give me another opportunity to thaw out, that's perfect. But, unfortunately, I do not thaw out. And now he's going to go for the U-turn. Just to get out of here, I can already know who he's going to bring out. He's going to bring out the Fortress because he probably wants to set up his hazards ASAP. So, kind of a little bit bummed out that, it takes so long for me to thaw out. Sometimes, I could be I could be frozen the entire game too. That's just what happens when you get freeze hacks. It's not my opponent's fault, and it's certainly not my fault, so I can't really complain. So I'm gonna have to switch out into Hitmontop now. Why did I switch out my Hitmontop? Because it has motherfucking, Rapid Spin. He does go for the Toxic Spikes, so, he does have Toxic Spikes. That's great and all. I'm gonna go for Close Combat now because I want him to actually keep using another layer of Toxic Spikes. No one layers just one layer of Toxic Spikes. Like, no one does that. So I'm expecting the second layer to come after I go over Close Combat. My opponent does have the Rocky Helmet, kind of fucking scary, but you know, Hitmontop doesn't care too much at this point. Now I decide to just go for Rapid Spin. Not really sure if he's gonna take this opportunity to go for another, you know, Stealth Rocks or anything, but yeah. Honestly, I think my opponent really should have seen this. I mean, why else would I have a Hitmontop? And why else would I bring a Hitmontop? It's only for Rapid Spin. That's like the only sole purpose for Hitmontop. And maybe Intimidate, but that's it. He does go for Protect, and really unnecessary yet again. You know, neither of us have leftovers, so it doesn't really benefit him nor me. Not really sure why, but whatever. I'm gonna go for a Rapid Spin now. I do get hit by Rocky Helmet, but I need those, you know, hazards out of my way. And he's adamant about staying in. You know, that's fine and all. Now, my defense and special defenses were dropped, but honestly, even if this Florges did attack me with like a Volt Switch, it's not going to do too much. I just, you know, decided to go for an attack because I didn't want to go for another close combat. It's going to drop my defenses way a little bit too much. He is going to keep using hazards. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to go for my Snow Ninja now. It's not going to do enough, but it'll drop them enough where actually a close combat would kill him. So now he decides to go for his Stealth Rock. So I believe he has all three. You know, he has 2 layers of Toxic Spikes and he has Stealth Rocks. And he keeps going for the unnecessary Protect, which, you know, whatever, it's fine. I mean, I guess he can just try to stall out my attacks and all, but I have so much Rapid Spin PP. He really doesn't need to go for, you know. So here comes the Kabutops now. You know, expecting the Rapid Spin. Really good, you know, prediction there. You know, had I went for the Close Combat, you know, this Kabutops would not sit too well, but that's not the point. I just went for a Rapid Spin, so that's all good. So basically, that Forest just kind of just, you know, wasted all those turns to go for those hazards thanks to that Hitmontop. But unfortunately, my Hitmontop did lose quite a lot of damage, so I go back in Turbo expecting a water move, and that's exactly what he goes for actually. That's really great. I was really scared that he might go for, you know, Swords Dance or knockoff on the first turn, but turns out he just went for a water attack, and now he decides to go for Swords Dance, which is fine. I'm just gonna go for Recover, honestly. I am packing Earthquake on this Kabutops, but you know, Scald is also great too. It does neutral and it also burns his Kabutops. I'm at full HP now thanks to this Kabutops using Swords Dance, and he's actually gonna switch out, so that's fine. And he's gonna go to Florges now. I can see why, you know, predicting that Skull, but I'm actually gonna go for the Earthquake. It'll do, you know, an alright amount, not too much, since, you know, Florges does have some defensive bulk, as you know. So I'm expecting a Toxic now, and I'm gonna go back into my frozen Registeel, my unfortunate, unlucky Registeel. Really unfortunate, but you know, whatever. This Florges can't do shit to me. But instead of going for the Toxic, he's gonna go for Ruse. I mean, go for a Wish. And after seeing the Wish, I already know what he's gonna do next. He's gonna bring out the Fortress. It's so obvious. Fortress is sitting at dangerously low HP, and he just threw up a Wish. And not to mention, my Registeel is frozen, so I know for a fact the Fortress is coming, so I make a double switch here. But before I do that, obviously, my opponent switches up first, then followed by my switch, and I'm gonna go back into Flareon, because I don't want those damn hazards up anymore. It's so damn annoying. Seriously. I could have went to Murkrow and just kind of start setting up, you know, with this Ferrothorn. I'm pretty sure this Ferrothorn can't really, this Fortress can't really do anything to Murkrow, but it doesn't matter. I went for a Facade anyways, because actually it does more than a Flare Blitz to a Kabutops. So now I thought, okay, going for the Facade again, you know, going for a Flare Blitz is just way too obvious. So I went for a Facade, thinking that he would switch out, but he actually stays in. He actually stays in. Like, I'm not really sure why. Yeah, I guess he predicted that I went for a Facade, so it's a really good prediction on my opponent's part. But yeah. Now I know he's gonna go for a Protect. You know, this Fortress basically uses Protect more than anything else. So I know for a fact he's gonna go for another Protect to kind of Toxic stall me. But turns out he's not using Protect, so I'm really confused. Like, I'm thinking maybe he thinks I'm Choice Scarf, but you know, I just kind of revealed that my Flareon's carrying a Toxic Orb, so I really don't know what's going on. Regardless, I went for a Calm Mind. If the Greninja wants to come out, that's fine and all. I have that Prankster Calm Mind. I'll live one Ice Beam, and then I'll start roosting it off, and that's exactly what I'll do. So I'm going to do my second Calm Mind. I'm at +2 now, Special Attack and Special Defense. I can take an Ice Beam, not too well, but I can still take it. So that's all good. As a matter of fact, he does go for the Ice Beam, and that's fine. I can live one. And then next turn I'll just go for a Prankster Roost, so I won't be, you know, weak against ice. But of course I get frozen in the very second Ice Beam. This Greninja has only used Ice Beam twice in this entire battle, and has landed freezes in both Ice Beams. I mean, now he's going for like his third or fourth Ice Beam, but still, it's crazy. I don't have like the best luck ever, but I mean, I've never I mean, I think I've encountered battles where like 3 or 4 of my Pokemon were frozen, but this is just kind of ridiculous. He knows he can't do anything to me. You know, I'm not really sure if this Greninja is carrying Scald or Hydro Pump either, so I can't really just sit and wait until hoping that this Greninja goes for a Scald. Regardless, I just stayed in, and I want to fucking land a Paralysis on anything. He has a very fast team, and if anything fast and then his team gets paralyzed, it's like that Pokemon is completely over, including this Mega Alakazam. I know for a fact the Focus Blast is coming. I mean, why would you send out a Mega Alakazam, right, if he doesn't have Focus Blast? But I know I can live one because I am Registeel, but unfortunately it doesn't quite, well, thaw me. So I have no choice, hoping to miss, and actually he does miss, so I guess my opponent is not completely made out of pure luck. Nothing in my team really wants to take a Focus Blast, so I kinda just have to let my Registeel die. So unfortunately, Registeel did absolutely nothing. It's kinda fucking sad. You know, I just send him out to absorb an Ice Beam really well, and he gets frozen in the entire battle. Out comes the Beyblade now, but then I realized, I don't know why I sent out the Beyblade, the Hitmontop. I think it was like a misclick. So I'm like, of course I don't want it to die just yet. So I'm gonna go back into the obvious Murkrow. It's frozen, but you know, whatever. He is actually staying in. I went for the Prankster Recover. He's gonna go for a Shadow Ball now. It's not gonna do enough, so I can live it. So I have one more turn, but he gets a special defense drop. I mean, of course he does, right? Of course he does. And unfortunately, Murkrow also did nothing to this battle, so kind of a bummer. I'm sorry that you guys have to see 2 of my Pokemon frozen like this, but you know, a battle is a battle, and I will show it. So unfortunately, you know, Murkrow can't do anything, so I'm gonna go into my Ambipom now. I love my Ambipom. I'm gonna do a nice critical fake out that did so damn much. Theoretically, this Alakazam could just stay in and just go for a Focus Blast and kill me, but instead he actually decides to withdraw. I guess he did not want to assume that Focus Blast can hit, but this Florges is not gonna live the Last Resort. Silk Scarf, Last Resort. But of course it does. I mean, it lives with like 1 HP. Of course it does, right? I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm not complaining or anything. I mean, this battle was really good nonetheless. I'm just kind of sad that both of my Pokemon were frozen and this Florges lives with like 1 HP. It's probably not 1 HP anyway. It's probably like, you know, 4 or something. But still. Now, I can just smack this Florges. No problem. But I thought he's gonna withdraw. Knowing my opponent's playing style, he's gonna withdraw. So I go back into my Hitmontop, and I know for a fact my opponent's going to go into Ferrothorn because his Ferrothorn can take Last Resorts. Now, I'm not sure if Florges. I'm not sure if his Florges can take 2 Last Resorts, but that's not the point because I really didn't want my Ambipom to take any more poison damage. So at this point, I'm just like, you know what, let's just let Hitmontop die. Fuck it, let's just let him die. If my opponent wants to go for any hazards, that's great too. Not that it really matters because he already had 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, so unfortunately it doesn't really matter. Hitmontop finally goes down and finally meets his fate. So there goes Hitmontop, which is not too bad, honestly. I'm sitting kind of dangerously, you know. I'm not sitting too well, basically. Actually, now I decide to go for a Flame Charge, so you know, like it's just a fire attack that's just coming. Like I didn't want to play the games anymore, and luckily my opponent did not switch out, so that's great. I'm at +1 speed now, so that's pretty darn sweet. And he's gonna go into Kabutops now. Only have 2 Pokemon left: this Flareon and this motherfucking Gastrodon. I thought switching to Gastrodon is just a little too obvious. Not that it really matters, because even if I switch into Gastrodon, Gastrodon will land on the Toxic Spikes, and then, you know, it's just, yeah, it's just not wise to switch back and forth. So I kind of just had to hope that maybe my opponent would just go for Swords Dance. It's kind of funny to see Quick Claw on Aqua Jet Kabutops. It's kind of rare, but, you know, I guess it works. I'm gonna go for Scald now, you know, whatever. So I'm pretty sure this Kabutops moves are just Swords Dance, Aqua Jet, Stone Edge, and probably Rapid Spin. So his best attack is obviously Stone Edge, but you know, a +2 Stone Edge is obviously not going to do enough, and I finish off this Kabutops, so that's pretty darn sweet. My mistake, I have Ambipom too, so I have Gastrodon and this Ambipom left. If Gastrodon was not poisoned, I actually might still, you know, have a chance. Here comes the Alakazam now. I'm pretty sure he has the Energy Ball, but you know, like I mentioned, my Ambipom isn't sitting at high HP, so obviously I can't really switch out. Kinda just have to let this Gastrodon die. But you know, it's all good, because next turn I can just bring out Ambipom, and that's exactly what I do. And I go for the Fake Out. Well, I have to, because I can't use Last Resort if I don't go for Fake Out. Of course, it takes out the Alakazam, and my opponent has Florges and the Greninja left. And of course he's gonna go for Florges and go for Protect. Of course. I think he has 3 Pokemon that knows Protect. He has the Florges, the Forretress, and the Sharpedo. All 3 of them have Protect, which is, you know, pretty smart since he does have, you know, Toxic Spikes, but yeah, he's not gonna get that double Protect. No, I'm gonna finish off with that Last Resort. So now he has 1 Pokemon left. It's 1-on-1. My Ambipom versus my opponent's last Pokemon, which is that Greninja. I know what you guys are thinking, like, Greninja totally outspeeds Ambipom. Come on. Right? I mean, unless this Greninja was Modest Nature, but of course it's not. No one runs Modest Nature Greninja, and he finishes me off, so sort of a close match. Sort of a close match, but hey, you know what? I'm not complaining. Still a pretty good fight, right? Just, you know, except for that frozen part. But still, nonetheless, thank you, Spencer, for bringing such an amazing team. And to my viewers, if you guys like this battle, or if you guys hate it, whatever, give it a huge thumbs up to my man Spencer, and make sure to comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.